Dak Prescott has been a good quarterback, 12th, 13th best in the league, about where I have him, but he's been a great leader. He's been a great cowboy. Jerry Jones has defended him, and he loves him, and he's his guy. And in September, they were talking about paying him a lot of money. Remember that? Stephen Jones was like, "He's our guy. I'm going to pay him a lot of money." And suddenly, they don't want to pay him. Prescott told the Dallas Morning News, David Moore, reporter, quote, "Be sure to report I won't be working out anywhere near the star." As the article says here, by Dak's choir boy standards, that was somewhere between a fist in the air and a middle finger to Cowboy management. His contract's expired. Mike McCarthy wants him in OTAs, and he's not around the facility. Now, I get Dak. I get Dak wanting to get paid. They haven't paid him anything. He wins division titles. His numbers are good. Aesthetically, sometimes he doesn't look quite the part. But why suddenly wouldn't they want to pay him? I'll tell you what it is. This is my opinion. That Philadelphia game, it hurt Dak. Dak had the better O-line, way better wide receiving core, way better running back, and he could not score a touchdown against a middle-of-the-pack Philadelphia Eagle defense. Carson Wentz had nothing. Lawn furniture and deck chairs. I mean, Greg Ward was his best receiver, former college quarterback. And Carson Wentz completed 77% of his throws, 320 yards passing, a passer rating of 108, and was dealing with nothing. That game hurt Dak. Listen, you can talk about deserve. It's about earn. Last game under your contract, you go on the road, and Jerry and Stephen Jones are saying, we gave you not only a better offensive line, the best offensive line in the NFL, probably the second best receiving group outside of Kansas City, arguably the best running back, middle-of-the-pack defense. We couldn't score a touchdown against Philadelphia. And Carson Wentz carried that team for a month with major injuries. And there are these individual moments in life, sports or not, where people are going to judge you. And I think that game, I mean, you folks are bagging on Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo took a team to the Super Bowl and led Patrick Mahomes 20-10 in the fourth, and you all think he's overpaid, and he's making $27 million. And Jerry's supposed to pay Dak $36. That's reportedly what Dak wants. So let me just tell you about the way at quarterbacks it works for me. There are very few blank check guys in the NFL for me at quarterback. There's two. Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson. Here's the check. Fill in the number you want. Blank check. I like your brains. I like your leadership. I like your arm. I like your playmaking. I like your coachability. And you elevate everybody around you. Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. Blank check. Now, I like Carson Wentz a lot, but because of his injuries, he's not a blank check guy. What about Lamar Jackson? He's never won a playoff game. I'm not sure he can play from behind consistently. What about Deshaun Watson? I like him. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, last couple of years. Am I wrong here? He looks a little old. Aaron's not Aaron. His numbers came down this year with a new coach that was supposed to be so great and progressive. So the reality is, after Mahomes and Russell Wilson, I'm negotiating hard on everybody. I'm not giving you a player-friendly deal. I also know if you look at the recent 3 drafts, 10 out of the last 12 first-round quarterbacks, even the one with big flaws, have worked. Outside of Josh Rosen, injuries, they've all worked to some degree. Sam Darnold's working. Baker's working to some degree. We don't know on Dwayne Haskins, and Josh Rosen hasn't worked. So this is one of these things where I think the Philadelphia game really hurt Dak. I mean, if my company didn't know whether to pay me a lot and they think they like me, and all of a sudden I don't have a great last year and my last show is a disaster, I mean, it's going to make people pull back a little bit. So according to reports, it's a franchise deal. Dak's not happy, and I get Dak not being happy. I get it. I'm not banging on Dak for being upset. Not at all. He's won a lot of games and a division. But I also get Dallas being concerned. Do you know this? Once you get paid a lot of money, you can't win Super Bowls. I'll give you an example. The Peyton Manning, as a cap hit, was 9th. The last 8 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, their league-wide cap hit rank. Mahomes is 343rd in the league. You can't. Peyton Manning's the only top 10. That was in 2015 when that defense carried him in Denver. That's it. Once you're a top 10 cap hit, and if you're making $36 million a year, you don't win Super Bowls. And we know Jerry's goal, he said it many times, at this point, it's not about money. I got to win Super Bowls. You put a guy now, right now, Patrick Mahomes is still low on that ranking. Kansas City could pay him now, but they're probably thinking, why? We don't want the big cap hit yet. So this is tense. I get Dak's bitterness, but outside of Mahomes and Russell Wilson, I'm negotiating hard with everybody. All right, let's segue to this. The New York Post. It is a fine newspaper owned by my boss. I think they do terrific work. Excellent paper, Mr. Murdoch. But they had a story this morning I'm going to push back on a little. May I do that? Headline, New York Post. Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan being exposed raises major 49er concerns. Excuse me? New York Post person, I'm going to give you 2 teams with major concerns. Let's start with the Giants and the Jets. Rosters, coaches, general managers. I would go Giants-Jets. Why don't you stick to those local teams? Because the Niners don't have any problems. First of all, it's overreaction Tuesday. Second of all, what always hurts Super Bowl winning losing teams. Here's what ends dynasties, and here's what hurts really, really, really good teams. Age. Rams got really old on the offensive line. Their center retired. You lose top coordinators. Okay, those 2 things. Niners have kept both coordinators. Neither landed a head job, and the Niners are really young. And then you look at, schedule and who do you play. I'll get to that in a second. There were 12 teams that made the playoffs last year. 12 teams. Ravens, Chiefs, Patriots, Texans, Bills, Titans, Niners, Packers, Saints, Eagles, Seahawks, Vikings. I can look at several of those teams and say, I just don't know. I think they'll pull back. I think Baltimore will be good next year. I don't think they're going to be like 14-2 and 13-3 good. I think they caught the league off guard a little. I think they'll pull back. Texans. They are my fall through the floor team in the NFL next year. You can't keep asking Deshaun Watson to save the franchise. Bills, I think they pull back. I think the Jets and the Dolphins are both better. Titans, you really think that magical run happens again? They don't know who their quarterback is. Packers, they'll be good. I don't think they win 13. Saints, who's the quarterback? Vikings, what happens if they start out 2-2? Kirk Cousins loses a big primetime game. I'd make the argument in his last year they could lose the locker room. Kirk Cousins is about to lose that locker room, losing any more big TV games against really good teams. San Francisco is not pulling back. I'm not guaranteeing a Super Bowl. Age, no problem. Coordinators didn't lose them. They're probably not going to re-sign Jimmy Ward because they can't afford him. He's good, gets hurt a little bit. I doubt he gets re-signed. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if they move off him. The other thing is look at San Francisco's schedule. I've got it here. They play the AFC East and the NFC East. They get the Bills, Miami, Philly, and Washington at home. I'll take my chances. They have to go on the road to the Giants and the Jets. I'll take my chances. Yes, winning at Dallas can be tough occasionally, and winning at New England's never easy. But San Francisco is the daunting team on everybody's schedule, not vice versa. New York Post, good paper. Writer, I'm sure, a good guy. There are no concerns with the San Francisco 49ers. They may not win as many games as last year, and they may not make the Super Bowl. No big pullback here at all. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.